you have a baby girl, beautiful lady, beautiful girl, by the way. Parents to child transmission is definitely a thing. Just like yourself, you were born with it. Was your daughter also born with it? Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, we are still on the matter of young men who are living with HIV in Africa. Our first guest was someone who contracted HIV later in life, but the next two guests are men from Uganda who say they were born with HIV. Our first guest is Mr. William Matovo from Uganda. He's a 29-year-old man who has a beautiful daughter and he's married, and he has found love and he seems to be living a life filled with kindness and joy. So we're very excited to be talking to him today to hear his story of when and how he actually found out that he had HIV and how he was able to find love, have a child, and build the life that he wants. I love happy endings, so I can't wait to get into this conversation.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is William, and this is my time to take my meds. Wanna maintain you because you. The only thing that is will gonna make or maintain your virus suppressed or to maintain you because you is this medication. If you take it as directed by your medical personnel, automatically you will achieve undetectable viral load. Never miss treatment. Take it as prescribed by your medical personnel.
Thank you so much, Mr. William, for joining us on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you too for hosting me.
Thank you. William, you are very vocal about your HIV status, and you shared with me that you were born with HIV. When did you discover that you actually had HIV? Because the one thing I always ask people who were born with HIV is that, were you aware when you were a baby, or was this something that you only became aware of when you were a teenager or an adult? So when and how did you even find out that you had HIV?
I got to know about my status at the age of 14. By that time, that was 2008, and I was staying with my stepmother. But back in the days, I used to fall sick each and every time, and I could not know the real cause. And by the time my parents passed on, that's when I knew that I'm living with HIV.
When you found out that you were positive, HIV positive, how did that affect you? What did you do when you had that result?
So I shed a tear because of what I heard people talking about HIV.
What did people say about what was it that you heard about HIV from other people?
Basically, people they don't really differentiate between HIV and AIDS in our local environment where we stay. They could say HIV, AIDS kills, HIV kills. So when I had that kind of information around my community, when I tested and I knew about my status, I felt so bad because I knew that at that time I would die and call my late father and my mother as well.
It's time for taking my medication. I always take them at around 10. So I'm gonna swallow my medication right now. I'm taking now my medication. Come on, we enjoy. I'm taking my medication, friends.
So from that difficult childhood to the adult that we see now that is a HIV advocate, you are married, you have a beautiful little girl, you are living a life that a lot of HIV positive men think is impossible. You have love in your life. You seem very happy. You seem very confident. You're going from conferences to conferences and you're being recognized internationally. People living with HIV are afraid that they will never be able to find love or be able to have a family. Was this a fear of yours as well?
The journey of living with HIV, as far as relationship is concerned, for all people living with HIV in general, it is really tricky. I personally have struggled with the relationships to find a great partner. So it is quite challenging because of the stigma around our communities and families as well.
Now you have a baby girl, beautiful lady, beautiful girl, by the way. Parents to child transmission is definitely a thing. Just like yourself, you were born with it. Was your daughter also born with it?
Now my daughter is HIV free. All the PCRs that have been done, they show negative results.
So how were you able to get this? Because most people don't know this. The first thing is, oh, you have HIV first, you can't get married. And if you get married, your child is going to have HIV. So how were you able to ensure that your partner was also not infected, thus your child was not infected as well?
It is because of following doctor's instructions. Actually, as a partner living with HIV, if you are on effective treatment and you religiously take your medication very well, that means you cannot transmit HIV sexually to your sexual partner. So,
Uh,
following doctor's instructions is a crucial part.
You have been a very strong force in the advocacy space, especially for HIV prevention, and you're very public about your HIV status. When did you decide to go public with your HIV status, and why did you decide to do that? That was such a bold move.
So, it was around 2012 when I came out publicly. I used social media. That was my Facebook page by that time. Due to what I went through home and the community as well, and seeing my fellow young people living with HIV in my community and around the globe, we share the same challenges. So I came out publicly to advocate for those voiceless voices to ensure that they are valued in this world, to ensure that they have access to treatment, they had well to their medication, and even to create a stigma-free society whereby those living with HIV and those who are not living with HIV work together in a harmonized society.
Thank you so much, Mr. William, for sharing your story with us. Really appreciate it.